Is everyone possessed on the road today? Like,
our driving on the way to church doesn't always reflect our faith.
amen. Well, I'm going to get a lot closer and then I'm going to jut in when an unsuspecting victim. I don't know if this lady was drunk. She goes across 5 lanes of traffic, tries to come out, and then she nails on the brakes. It's chaos.
Everybody got popcorn?
What is up, YouTube family? We are back with episode 4 of our High on Jesus podcast. This one's going to be a good one. Today we're talking about road rage confessions, the fast, the furious, and the forgiven. And you are here today with Just in Time with Justin Hallis.
And Austyn with a Y.
Love that name.
Thank you.
So good. Man, I think these are going well. And a lot of people, man, thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you, everyone, for interacting with us, throwing the comments down. We appreciate anything you guys want to share with us. We have some sponsors. Actually have a 4-pack of sponsors. So, nice. Yeah, someone supporting us. Shout out to Autumn. She actually has 4 different businesses that we're going to be talking about real quick. Absolutely. Automatic bail bonds. So, again, you know, someone that gets arrested, she will take care of your loved one very, very fast with the hopes that it's only one time, and then she'll help you to move forward with your life after that, possibly through Journey to Greatness sober living homes. So male or female. Yep, male or female homes in Manatee County. Right. So if anyone needs a sober living house, you can contact Journey to Greatness. Florida Elite Monitoring.
So if your conditions are an ankle monitor, when you get out of jail and go to Journey to Greatness, we can help you with that.
It's like a one-stop shop. Right. So you can get out of jail, go to sober living house, get an ankle monitor with Florida Elite Monitoring, and then finally, her husband Malik owns Dump Dynasty.
Dump Dynasty. Okay.
So I guess instead of the Ducks, we're doing yeah. So, but clever name. Absolutely. And so they have dump trailers available. They will bring to your home, your job site, whatever you need. They just it's real simple. Call them. They drop the trailer off. You fill it up. They take it away.
Genius.
Yeah, you don't have to go to the dump. You don't have to mess with any of that. So contact Dump Dynasty if anyone's interested in needing a dump trailer.
Absolutely.
For sure. So thank you so much for the support.
Absolutely. Thanks, Autumn.
Absolutely. So this will drop a little bit after Mother's Day, but I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, just Mother's Day in general, as I think, I don't know, I feel like sometimes those days could get overlooked a little bit. Mother's Day, Father's Day, or, you know, like my mom. So my mom's the funniest with Mother's Day. I'm calling her. I'm like, all right, Mom, what are we doing? Let's get it on the calendar, because you know how my schedule is. Justin, I don't need you to show me that you love me for one day. We don't even need to do anything. You do that all year long. I said, Mom, that's nice.
I appreciate it.
We're going out to eat. No, we're not doing anything, Mom. We're going out to eat after church. Like, let's do one thing together. She's like, it's just another day, Justin. I said, no, it's not, Mom. My mom, she's the most selfless woman like on the planet, man.
Mine too.
She puts everyone above herself. Mine too. The poor lady can't even accept, like, Mom, we're doing something for Mother's Day. How would it look like if we didn't do anything? Like, so where's your mom? Oh, she said don't worry about it. So I just told her to sit at home
for her. So we're good.
But yeah, awesome. For everything that she's put up with and everything she's done. Shout out my mom. She's amazing.
My mom too. Like, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair without mine.
Absolutely not.
No.
All their prayers, all their love and understanding, probably too much at times, at least on my end.
Right.
But no, moms are special ladies.
Yes.
And you know, I don't know, there's no one that could take a place of your mom.
This is the second one. This is the second one in a row for me, being sober with my mom and being consistent in her life. You know, I got the 4 years before, but it doesn't even hold a candle to the walk that I have now, with God in the center of my life. It just really doesn't. And as a mom myself, you know, with 4 kids.
Yeah. So how does that look like on Mother's Day? You got the 4-peat going on over there?
Same as every other day. Complete chaos. Screaming to get them ready for church, what time we're picking them up. But they want me in their lives today. It's not like, you have to go to church with me because I said so. You know, they they participate in it, and they choose me. I don't just have to call them.
That's nice.
It is. It's completely different, especially having 3 teenagers. You know, I've always said I'd have 10 toddlers over 10 teenagers. Your wife, on the other hand, likes teenagers. Yeah. It's all a learning experience for me, and for, you know, a teenager to want their parents to be around in today's society. Impressive. I think is huge, especially with the way that the last few years of their life, you know, prior to me getting clean, were, and for them to call me with problems and me get to be open about my past, as much as it, you know, you can protect them, you try to, but we have a pretty open door, conversation about things in their lives today. And I'm excited.
That's good, because we got boyfriends and girlfriends starting, I've heard.
Yes. Yeah. Uh-oh. I'm glad summer's coming up. You know, you don't see them very well because we go to school together. So, but they, you know, hopefully they'll learn from my, you know, mistakes or choices in my relationships. And I hopefully today that I can be a good role model in those aspects, because I haven't always made the best choices, you know, in those departments.
What does that look like these days when, you know, just you being sober and present? Like, how do the kids treat you? How do they respond to you now versus in the past?
They would never know if I was coming to pick them up to take them to school, or if I was going to make them late because I had to stop somewhere to get what I needed, just being real. Today, they, you know, let me know. They all, you know, I gratefully help them with projects that they remind me of at the last minute, you know, but they know that I'm going to answer the phone and I'm going to help them make it happen, you know, which is the difference. They couldn't depend on me for anything. Yeah. They could depend on me to yell at them or not have any patience with them, or be a parent at all. If, you know, I think Beckett, my oldest, when I went on it's called the Encounter. It's a away weekend, you know, during the men or right. That's right. When I got back,
retreat is basically what it is. Encounter men's and women's retreats.
When I got back, you know, my son Beckett was like, "I'm so proud of who you've become." You know, for a while, I thought I had to be the parent, you know, and that was when he was 14. Wow. You know, so for him to be able to have his mom back, I think, as my oldest, you know, he went through the most. So, with, you know, my older 3 is my ex-husband, and then Tristan's a different dad. So there's a lot of co-parenting or non-co-parenting going on. Lots of miscommunication and communication trial and error. So, Mother's Day is special because I get to, no matter what the definition is, I am a mom today. So I think that encompasses all of it.
That's nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all know that's nice. You do the school projects with them. So the teenagers, you kind of like assist, but we know well for our youngest ones, like they don't have a school project due on Friday. You have a school project due on Friday.
Oh, no, that applies for my teenagers too. They're like, Mom, it's a we program. Yeah, no. It's not. It's definitely a we program in my house.
It's we when it's school project time, but not other times.
It's not when I'm cooking. It's definitely not we program then. So.
Or cleaning and dishes, like we talked about last week.
I get to. That's you go back to. You know, you're just grateful that you get to, that I'm not in jail. You know, and
absolutely.
So absolutely. But yes.
Well, good. Well, I hope you enjoy your Mother's Day. And since Mother's Day is already going to happen when you see this, man, what did you do for Mom? Right. How special was your mom and why? And throw a comment down below what you did with Mom for Mother's Day.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we'll.
It's our time.
Justin's outfit.
It's our time. Fit check. Hey, I'm digging what we got going on here today. That's all I can tell you. I think the double camo is where it's at. I love the camo and the pink. Your hat you got going on. The shirt matches. That is definitely you.
Yes. Yeah. Being born and raised Mississippi, you know, I had to represent today. I don't know. I've been here longer than I was in Mississippi. So
what about the Bama though? I seen her. So all of a sudden I'm like, why is my phone connecting to Wi-Fi? I see Bama Mama, and she's like, it's Bama Mama.
Yes,
like, oh,
so
my
bad. I'm Roll Tide all the way.
Boy.
Yes. Sorry, Gator fans.
Well,
you know,
even though we just won the championship, but that's cool.
That's all right. Yeah. I mean, we'll let you have one.
Basketball, at least. We're good at that. Yeah. Might be a few years before football comes back.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think on any given day, anybody can win. You never know.
Yeah. But no, that's definitely you. I love the camo. I kind of bring maybe a little like street side of the camo. So I got the flat bill. She has the curved bill hats. You can get all these at our website, www.highonjesus.org. We got the link down in the description. And we got the High on Jesus, got the camo. We broke it out.
Yep.
And of course, you know, I had to match the shoes.
Right. So what shoes are you wearing today?
All right. So this is like, we consider it a grail for some people. This is like super rare. So it's a Supreme Air Force One camo when they originally dropped them. I'm going to show the picture here. And this shoe's from 2012. So this thing's like 13 years old. But yeah, it was like the first set of Air Force Ones that they ever dropped. And the camo, I was like, I got to have it. It matches this outfit perfectly. We're going to do a head to toe shots at some point too.
Eventually. Maybe.
You rocking the Hey Dudes again?
I know. I got some Nikes on.
Okay. All right.
Want to give me an extra inch on the bottom,
nice.
You know?
Platforms?
Yes. I'm only 5'3".
It's awesome.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, if you'd like to get the merch, come join us, man. Rep that High on Jesus family. The shirts and the hats they're just popping. Everyone says something.
Different colors in the camo.
Yeah, we do.
Right?
Yeah, so the camo is one with white. The pink for the ladies, man. That camo and pink is a no-brainer.
It is. I think you got lime green.
There's a lime green version, and there's an orange version also. Kind of like Duck Dynasty, I guess.
There you go.
You got the orange.
All you country boys out there.
That's right. Get her done. Get her done. So we are to our comment crawl session that we do every single episode. Right. And so again, man, leave those comments, guys, because we're going to be reading some are from older videos, but we're definitely reading at least one comment from the podcast. So never know, could be picking yours. And each week we're going to do 2 just heartfelt, you know, great comments that we get so many of. And then, of course, comedic purposes, somebody rocking me for something seems to be a common thing. But all right, so this one's good. So this said, Justin, amazing suggestions. I can say that these suggestions work. By coming in through Hand Up to Victory and listening to these suggestions and making small goals, I was able to reach these goals so I could set more. I have so much joy today. Small steps add up. Do you know who said that?
Sounds familiar.
You did.
I think eyes are like all tearing up.
I think that was from like 8 months ago or so when I found that, and I was like, "Oh, is our friend there?" That
was pre me working for you. That was when I was at Journey to Greatness. Yeah.
No doubt. Just watching the videos, putting your heartfelt, just what you were experiencing from it at the time. I love the amazing suggestions, man. We try, and everything we do, we try to put just suggestions out there that can help someone with wherever they're at in life. You know, addiction, alcoholism, fill in the blank, man. Anything someone can struggle with, marriage, children. Where do you remember where you were at in that particular time, or what was
I mean, so one of my things when I went back out before was I would set unrealistic goals for myself that I couldn't reach. And the message obviously received at that moment was if I would set goals that I can achieve, I wouldn't fail. I was able to achieve, I would not fail.
Right.
And then, so by setting those goals, like when I was in the halfway house, I stepped into management. I was still seeing my kids on a daily basis. I didn't have them with me, but I got my license. So then I was able to take them to school. Check. Right. I got some car parts replaced on my car. It was more dependable, check. 6 months after that, I got my own little 1-bedroom apartment close to where my kids lived with their dad. So I was able to be more present for them, saved up money, got my own place. So by doing that, instead of just, what did I come to you after 2 weeks out of jail? I'm tired of the halfway house. Yeah. I'm like,
I'm ready to leave. I'm getting out of here.
He's like, So then a month later, there I was, managing, and the experience that gave me by doing that is probably why I'm sitting here today, because I took suggestions.
Amen.
At least you have to listen to them.
For sure.
You don't have to take all of them, but you do need to ask for different suggestions from other people to see, so you don't follow the same choices or mistakes that they did.
Right.
So
for sure. And I love that. I think no matter where someone's at in life, it doesn't matter what you're shooting for or going towards. I think sometimes we set these astronomical goals, or we got like 6 different things that we're going for that are way down the road. And I don't know, it becomes overwhelming. We're not seeing any results, and whatever it is, I feel like we're never gonna get there. And before you know, it's like, forget it. I'm not gonna even try. I'm gonna mess it up. And I'm just gonna quit, because it just seems like it's unattainable, like a Mount Everest. And I think there's so much to be said about setting these little goals. Like, have the big one, obviously, but then what are the small steps that we're going to take to be able to get there?
Right. And the realistic time frame.
Right.
It's not in our time anyway, but saying that I'm going to have a 4-bedroom house in 6 months after getting out of jail, like, I would dream it, but I'm not going to ever come to fruition, So, by taking those small steps, I was successful, and, I still have more to take. So I'm grateful for that experience.
Absolutely. And what I always say is the people that like don't just rush to get up to the mountaintop, right? Because the worst thing you could do is rush to get up there, do it too fast. You can't handle it once you got up there. It was too much, whatever it was, and then have to come back down and start back over. Right. I'd rather just take the small steps, one thing at a time, set those incremental goals, so that when we get up there, we don't have to come back down.
I mean, have to take a little step back and be reestablish some ground, but absolutely.
Yeah, a few detours, but
we're not have to go around them. You don't have to go down the mountain.
Because it's just like mountain climbing, right? If you're not prepared for what's at the top, the lack of oxygen, the cold conditions, the other stuff, you just rush up there unprepared. It's only you're gonna have to come back down. You're not gonna be able to handle it once you get up there. Amen. Sometimes that's why God makes it take a little while on purpose.
Then you remember you don't want to have to come back down.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not giving this back.
Nope, never.
Good stuff. All right, next we got one from Amy, long time supporter. She's honestly, she was like the first person when I started this in a church, like just to the High on Jesus recovery meetings. Nobody knew what we were doing. No one knew what was going on. Amy showed up. She was in there. She's been rooting us on the whole entire way since then. But so she was referring to, I think this is from episode 1. She said, really enjoyed this podcast, episode 1 of what I hope will be many more. Loved having a woman's perspective with Austyn, and also her sharing as a mom. I am not an addict, but I love going to the HOJ meetings just for the overall of community and acceptance. I know Jesus is always here. I was always there for us too. Love you both to the moon and past all the stars.
I love you, Amy.
Nice.
I mean, she shared a little bit because I've just gotten to know her in the past recent months. But I mean, she was like, yeah, I've been picking up with females to get them to the halfway house. Like she shared, like she's been through it with you.
Yep. For sure. So. Yeah, she was giving a ride. She was out there. She was always promoting us, loving on us.
I love her energy because we kind of share that. She's always go, go, go.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I love Amy. Yep.
But to speak to that for a second, like, honestly, it's one of the reasons that I had you doing this with me. Like, we need a woman's perspective. We need a woman's perspective on everything in life, to be honest with you. But just speak a little bit to that, having a woman's perspective, and then you sharing from the role of a mom, since it's right after Mother's Day.
When I read this comment, like I was in tears because, I mean, coming on here, you're established, and I mean, I was blessed, by you asking me to do this with you. I know you've been trying to do this for some time.
Of course.
I was definitely a little nervous. So to see the comments of people welcoming me, especially somebody that's known you as long as Amy has, a year ago, I was like, who would have listened to me? But especially Amy's a mom, so even, and she's an amazing mom. So it's like, why would she enjoy my perspective? But like-minded individuals want to hear other people's experiences, and everybody can get something out of a mother's experience, whether you're an addict, in a relationship, single. You can either learn what to do or what not to do from every situation and every walk of life,
Absolutely.
From this.
Yeah, there's a lesson in everything. There's no doubt about that. I love again how she says, I'm not an addict, but I still like watching the videos. Like I still like being a part of the High on Jesus community. And again, what we're trying to do here, it doesn't fill in the blank with what you're struggling with or what you have going on. And even people, once we get sober, you're still going to have all these issues that you need to deal with. So that's what we're here for, guys, is to speak into just life in general, and everything that it throws at us.
Absolutely.
So, all right, to the rocking. This
is straight to the point.
Again, I think this is like a common theme of the last 4 times. So this one, guy says false prophet, just like Joel Osteen and Mike Todd.
I mean, that's not a bad table to be sitting at with Joel Osteen.
Right? Like I think it's a compliment, right? Those guys.
I would take it that way.
Well, the first is like I'll just speak like direct. Anyway, hey, can someone be original out there? Like I gotten called a false prophet and false doctrine every single time. Like, can you come up with anything else?
I mean, I don't.
I don't know. Explain. So honestly, like, because it happened so many times, I'm like, what are these people referring to? So my feel just from talking it out and just that I feel like, do they think that like if you speak on anything besides salvation, you're like a false prophet? Because I think what they like to throw the stones at is like the people that are, talking about like the wealth and, this having this abundance and like that kind of like gospel. And I get what they're saying to a certain extent. Obviously, like it's not all about that. And you can read throughout the Bible where, all the Bible heroes, disciples, I mean, people went with nothing. I mean, the goal is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, meaning I can be content in whatever the situation. If I got nothing, if I got it all, either way, God's still rolling with me, and I know where we're headed to, ultimately. But I feel like it's like, if you're talking about anything else having to do with life and not salvation, like, do you want every time video? I want to be like, you're going to hell if you don't accept Jesus Christ right now. Like, I think most people are aware of that. Right. And then, so I've analyzed this. I got a question, just anyone that wants to comment or throw shade at us, like, did Jesus have a salvation message every time he opened his mouth? Right. Like, yes, of course, that's like what we ultimately need to do, but he's teaching us how to live. Like, he's giving us life principles, and this is a code of ethics, code of conduct that we should, strive to get to. Obviously, we're going to fall short. That's why we need Jesus to help us out. But, it's like, I feel like the preaching was, give your life, believe in me, Jesus saying, I'm, the way to get to the Father. He's the one that died on the cross for our sins, took that whole blame, rose up in 3 days. And then now we're going to journey through life together. And these are the things that Jesus was speaking into. I don't know. That's just funny, man. And then we got to add this just for the record. People just see the edited videos. So I'm not going to say anything. What do I do in person at the end of every single message?
You ask if anyone needs to have a one-on-one conversation with you about their salvation to make a decision for their life. You don't say, raise your hand, you want to have a intimate conversation if they need to have that. You're not forcing anybody. You do it every single time.
So I'm saying, just because that the message might not be about salvation for that particular week, we'll always give an altar call at the end. I want no one to leave that room. If you've not made that decision to turn your life over to Christ, don't leave here without, talking to us about it. Come up.
Or if anybody watching needs that phone call, please 100%. Mention it below and we'll get in touch with you and connect you with Justin or wherever you are. Get you what you need.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, do you have those questions? Because, I mean, stuff that we kind of talk about too. This comes up all the time. Is someone saying like, I don't even know what saved means. Doesn't that term get thrown around a lot? Like, are you saved? And some people are like, bro, I don't even know what saved means. Something else that I've heard is like someone, they said, just repeat after me. I was at an event and I said the few lines that they said. And to be honest with you, I don't even know what we were really doing. Like, did that count? What was I doing? There's a lot of questions surrounding that.
Or you were christened as a child, and are you at church camp? 13 years ago before you even knew what you were doing. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I just always feel led, especially with the demographic of people that we serve, to do it on a one-on-one basis. Like, let's talk. Let me see where your head's at. Do you understand what we're saying here? Like, you know, I believe it's important to know what we're praying for, what we're believing in, you know, when we take that step. Absolutely. So I like to do it on a one-on-one basis, but it's just hilarious when people always be coming at us with this. And then just like you said, like Joel Osteen, the Mike Todd, everyone's got their opinions out of there. And
Absolutely.
there are some channels, they only exist to shred those guys.
Absolutely.
Steve Furtick, TD Jakes, like they just rock all of them on a consistent basis.
Like, yes,
that's nice. That's a nice compliment. But like, and again, like whatever someone's opinions are out there, I think that there's something good that you can get from every single message that's God ordained through that. But like Joel Osteen, because people just use him. When I was like kind of like studying him a little bit, like I don't know if people even realize when his first book like took off, he didn't think it was going to do anything. When all of a sudden it sold like millions of copies, he stopped taking money from his church. Like he don't even take a paycheck from it because he's eating off all the book sales and all like the, you know, the bookings for his speaking events and whatever it is. Like he doesn't even take a paycheck from his church. So I don't know. Some people are always trying to
we make assumptions, just and we judge based on what we see, you know.
Right. So that's all right.
Yeah.
Okay. But just try to come up with something original next time, guys. We do have a couple coming up where they like make fun of me personally for stuff, so that's not going to be the false prophet for the next couple.
Though, for 2 episodes in a row, we've had comments from people that are not addicts. Yeah. That's been great though too. Yes. You know, to share about that.
Absolutely, I love it, man.
I do too.
All right, so this topic, oh boy, I don't care who you are. Don't try to tell me that you don't struggle with it. I think even my mom gets mad in traffic at some point.
Your mom might be a saint. I don't know.
Right, the road rage, like you know that's a problem, especially down here.
Snowbirds.
The stuff that people do in traffic is insane, man. I don't even know. Sometimes I'll be just doing one drive and I'm like, is everyone possessed on the road today? Like, what is happening?
It's just you.
I think it is, actually. We're going to talk about the stories here soon. Like, I don't know. The devil's out to get me in traffic, man. But, so funny story leading into this. So we both go to Oasis Church. Right. Shout out Pastor Steve at Oasis Church. And so, I did a message one week, right? And it was on a Wednesday night. Right. And I basically shared like, here's the reason that I don't have a High on Jesus bumper sticker on the back of my car. Cause I'll be coming through and I'll be doing some moves sometimes. Yeah, I'm late and we're hitting it and put that thing in dynamic mode and I'm zooming. Right. And then I'm like, yeah. I was like, that probably wouldn't be a good look if I had a High Jesus bumper sticker on the back, because I still see. Well, it's any of them, because someone will do something crazy in traffic and they got the Bayside thing. I'm like, all right, Bayside, like, and he's just cutting you off, and then he's going through. It's like a marker. I could see it. Like, here's that High on Jesus idiot. He's doing something crazy. But so I said, there's a reason that I'll have it. And then hilarious, like that same week on a Sunday, Pastor Steve was like, there's a reason I don't have an Oasis Church sticker on the back of my car.
It was just classic. It was the same week.
His own church. Like that's hilarious, man. So so maybe it's a common Christian problem, but you had some funny stuff that came up that why we don't have like a High on Jesus or a church bumper sticker on the back of our car. What you got?
So one of them, when I put it out to some people, we don't put church stickers on our cars because our driving on the way to church doesn't always reflect our faith.
Amen.
So
I actually got a
devil on our shoulder.
I got a story coming up that is exactly falling into that because it happened on the way to church on a Sunday. Yeah, crazy. That's funny though.
It is.
What you got?
We don't put church stickers on our cars, because we're still working on that turn the other cheek part while driving.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. No. When someone does you wrong, you're just like,
it's a get back.
It's on.
Yeah.
It's on.
Tag. Yes. And then finally it says we don't put church stickers on our cars because we don't want people to know that we're the ones always 5 minutes late.
Guilty. or 10 or 15 or 20.
Thank goodness for his wife, because she puts things out of her purse to hold our seats, because we're always coming in the middle of work.
Yeah, that's right. In church service. Yeah. So she's always running a few minutes late. So she'll text us, and Bonnie be like, all right, how many you got? She's like 4. And then she puts like Splenda containers and keys, key floof keychains, and who knows what. The people must come and be like, did someone leave their condiments on the seat, or are these taken?
Yes, so we would have no seats ever. I don't think if Bonnie wasn't saving them for us. So we're grateful.
But yes, not gonna lie, that is a cause for some of the incidents, because I'm late. I gotta get there and get out of the way, because I'm working on that. God help me with my punctuality. I need a little help in this area.
Yep. It's like I can drink a couple more sips of coffee at the house, and then before you know it.
Well, yeah, for me, it's just like I'm just doing what I do, and then up to the last minute, everyone, and anyone that knows me is cracking up, because everyone knows that I'm late, to almost everything.
I know you'll text and be like, I beat you here, which like.
It's like a landmark, put up a monument.
Yeah, so. All right, so tell us your story.
Oh, man.
Everybody got popcorn?
I was going to reach out to Major Shear, because I know him personally. I should have asked, should I talk about this? Because I might be implementing myself in some type of cry. But I got to say, I don't feel like it's me doing this stuff, and how many people out there with the road rage, you're just doing what you're doing. You're driving normal, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, and even Bonnie will ride with me and is like, "Why has this always happened to you?" I'm like, "You saw it firsthand. I did nothing," and they came at me. So this one's wild, man. I don't know if this lady was drunk. I don't know if she was possessed. Seriously, I think sometimes the devil and other people see the Jesus in me, and they're like, oh, we gonna make him mad today. Let's do something crazy, right? Because we're not fighting against flesh and blood. Right. We'll talk about that later on. But all right, so it's me and my daughter Layla. She's 10. We're driving to church. It's like you just mentioned. May or may not have been running. Bonnie's at work. Yeah, Bonnie's at work, so it's just us two in the range.
Riding solo. Got it.
May or may not have been a few minutes late, but it wasn't crazy. We were. I
can't tell you because we watched from home that day, so I can't.
we were gonna get there, right? So I'm coming on 301 in Ellington, right? And so if anyone knows,
it's new.
Yeah. So any of the exits, I don't care where you're watching in any state, in any county, when they start messing around with those interchange, the interstate, the interchanges or whatever. Yeah. So they're redoing the whole interstate exit system. It's chaos for 2 years,
people see orange cones and they freeze. Yeah.
We did on 70, on 64, if you remember any of that, and on 301 now.
University.
It's now it's like a nightmare. Right. So all right, so I'm coming off, and everyone piles up like cattle on the lane, the farthest lane, the left lane for us to get on the interstate. Right. So the line for the interstate is 300 cars long, and the other 2 lanes have no one in them. I'm sorry, but I'm not waiting around for that. No. Right. So I coming up the center lane, because I'm going to do my usual move. I'm going to get a lot closer, and then I'm going to jut in when an unsuspecting victim doesn't press the gas.
It's on their phone.
Yeah, they're on their phone. They don't press the gas. I'm just going to jut in there, right? So I'm coming. I wasn't even speeding. I was just going. Right. So one of the cars, very slowly, casually just tries to come out to get in the center lane, because apparently they're going to do the same thing. But they should have thought of that before they got in that
you had.
in that lane. So they wait. You understand? So I'm coming up, and she just gets in front of me, and she's just cruising. Did you not see me driving at the speed, the normal pace of traffic coming? So of course, I have to slow down. I'm not going to slam on my brakes for you because you decided to jump out in front of me, right? So I slow down, and of course I'm riding them a little bit, not ridiculous, but yeah, I'm
just making it known that you pulled out in front.
So I'm cruising as we're trying to get there. So she pressed the brake once, and I was like, okay, it was mild or whatever. So I backed a little more, and then she nails on the brakes, and then makes me, and I was like, oh
heck no,
what is this? What is going on, bro? Right? So then she speeds up as soon as she brake checks me hard on that second time, and she got more over to the right And so I just thought like she's going to go on about her day. I know it's probably hard to imagine this, but so I'm in the center lane now. She's in the right-hand side. So I'm going to the left now because we got to go this way on I-75. Right. So I'm going to the left traveling. All of a sudden, she goes across 5 lanes of traffic. Like she goes across the 3 on 301 and the 2 for the interstate and like juts on the other side of that 2 lanes.
Had you in her sights.
But she got in front of me again because she's driving all crazy in this like AMG, this small older AMG Mercedes that she had, right? So she got in front of me and she's already, I could see her because she had hardly any tinting in her wind, and she's doing her whole antics and acting a fool. And it's like an older woman, like really had to be like at least 60. And I'm like, even Layla's like, what is she doing? Is she drunk or something? Like this lady's crazy. I'm like, bro, this is wild, man. So now we're on the on-ramp and I'm just trying to get around her. At this point, she's dangerous. I don't like people that brake check in front of me. And so I'm just trying to get around this lady. She's like zooming into every little opportunity that comes along to like stay ahead of me on purpose. I know what she was doing, right? And so then we get on the interstate. There happened to be a whole bunch of traffic in those other lanes. So I was kind of like pinned in that right lane. So we're going and it's like she almost waited until the cars were like right there. She brake checks me again. Like I'm talking about hard, and comes back as Layla's like, what is she doing? Like even Layla's freaking, and then she goes again and I'm like, oh bro, like it's on, like I'm mad. My adrenaline spiked. Like I'm like, this lady is insane.
The sticker came off
there's no sticker anyway, thank God. But like I'm just like, yeah, we're doing all this on the way to church. So now I'm not even thinking about Jesus or church. I'm pissed. Like I'm mad. So at that point, I'm like, she comes and she kind of did it to me again. And now I'm like, whatever the move was, I was like, this is done. For my own safety, I felt like I had to get around this crazy lady. Probably not the best move, but it was already going into it. So as I'm like speeding up to go around her, and probably what may or may not have been a legal move, I see her holding up like a phone in the back, and Layla was like, what is she doing? I'm like, oh, she's recording me, but it was already in action. What'd she do? She tried to brake check me again. I went around her, I came back, and I got in front of her, and I just went, and I was done. Oh no, I saw her again when we got up to 64. Yeah, right. And so I was done. Like
disengaged,
and then she's recording me the whole way. Not going crazy. So when we get off on the interstate, like to the left I was going to church, right? And so she was going west and she got off, and I already knew what she was going to do. I was like, don't even look at her, Layla. I don't even want, this isn't a fight. This is over with. I got away from you. You know what I'm saying? Right. And she pulls up, and of course she's trying to run her mouth, and she's doing some contorted thing with her hand. I don't know. Ask Layla. Like, I wish Layla was in. She's like, what is she doing with her hand? Like, she was pointing and going all crazy. And I'm like, and then she even had a sheriff sticker on like her passenger side, like window.
So she a supporter,
that's what I'm saying. So now I'm still enraged, but as my adrenaline starts to go down, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, dang, I made a major mistake there. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that for a number of reasons. So, of course, since that happened on Sunday on the way to church, now I'm having the whole rest of that drive and that feeling in my stomach to be like, man, I got convicted, man, to be honest with you. And I'm like, man, I shouldn't have done that for a variety of reasons. Like, number one, like, I hope that nothing ever comes of that, you know what I mean? Because I guess I need to install a dash cam, because if anyone in their right mind would see what she had done to us 4 or 5 times leading up to that, right? But if something were ever surfaced, all the film is it looks like I'm the aggressor.
And she's probably got a lot of verbiage on the camera, so I
can only imagine what she was saying and everything. Like, I was like, God, I just hope like she didn't press the record. But you know, sometimes you try to take a video, you don't press the record button and you like mess it up or whatever. It didn't come out. But man, let me tell you, by the time I got to church, we'll just skip to that. I was really like convicted about that, man. I had to ask God, like, God, I shouldn't have done that. I'd asked for forgiveness. Just one, I didn't like that it allowed her to get me so angry, was the bottom line, because I was heated. And I felt that adrenaline spike, that fight or flight. I think most of us watching, we don't have too much flight going on. It's all fight. One, I shouldn't have allowed that situation to get me to that point. Two, I shouldn't have done what I had done. I mean, I guess my first thought back to the sheriff sticker, I'm like, is she like family members of a cop? But there's no way you would have done all that if you were related to.
Or she thinks it's like some form of protection around her car.
So I'm not gonna lie, I almost wondered, was she drunk that morning, and does she throw the sheriff sticker on there to show the sheriff's like, hey, I'm friends, but I'm like an alcoholic and I'm driving DUI every single time. There's no way you cut across five. I mean, I'm sorry, there's no way a 60-something-year-old lady cutting across 5 lanes and doing all that crazy stuff unless they're intoxicated or so. It just didn't make any sense to me.
She wasn't on the way to a hospital because she wouldn't have been recording, for like if something bad was going on and she needed to get somewhere. None of that would have happened.
Yeah. So, but then I'm like, that was a major mistake for me. And now this is where anyone can feel, I don't know. So we'll all probably have a different opinion of that, right? If we're being real, my wife could probably have that same encounter and it's not that big a deal. But I can't do that. Like not to give her the green light, but you understand, I can't like be a representation in this community for something good and let someone get me to that point.
So it literally, you had a physical reaction to that situation.
Of course. Yeah. And so I realized I made a mistake. I asked God for forgiveness. I asked for God's help during that church service to not let that happen to me again. When it does, because I'm sure someone's going to do something, to de-escalate it. We'll talk about some of, some of those steps. But, the bottom line was, and then I felt like I didn't put a good example on for my daughter was what hit me as well. And
you are a good example to her in so many areas. So when we fall short, I think especially for our kids, or, when we feel like we did, or we may have not made the best decision.
Yeah.
It can definitely hit home.
So I make it a point, which is after I had my moment with God, it was a great church service. When I came out and got her from the kids and Karen, we were, walking back from the kids' church. I said, hey, Layla, Dad made a mistake. We got to be willing to admit when we make mistakes.
No, that's right.
I think so many parents try to act like, hey, I got it all figured out, or even if I did something wrong, I ain't going to ever admit it, whatever it is. That's not what we should be putting on for an example for our kids. We got to be, if we can look your kids in the eye and say, hey, I made a mistake, like that gives them the green light for them to admit that they made a mistake too at some point in their life. And what's hilarious, I love Layla, man.
She's like, she was wrong anyway.
Exactly. She was like, Dad, you didn't make a mistake. She deserved it. You were trying to get away from her. She was doing all that crazy stuff to us. She's like, you didn't do anything wrong, Dad.
I knew it.
I was like, Layla, I love you, but I did do something wrong. And here's why. And I went down that whole list that I just gave you. And she was like, well, if anything were to ever happen, it was me and you were in the car and she didn't have anyone in there. It's 2 against 1. I said, yes, you are right, Layla. You're going to be you're going to be exactly. You're going to be my eyewitness and you're going to tell them exactly what occurred that whole entire trip leading up to that particular point to try to get away from this crazy lady.
Right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
she would.
This is what happened. This is what she did. And my dad was right.
Yep. Telling the cops what they need to do next in order to take this lady into custody.
Absolutely. I can so see it.
Oh, man.
I have one just like her.
Yep.
Tristan
They're twins.
Yeah, they don't tell them that, but they are.
Man. So that was my road rage story. And then more stuff happened on the way to this podcast. Like, I'm not even going to lie. Like, is it just me? Like, what? But I didn't let it get to me.
That's right. That's right. Well, you said you worked on your marriage. So, like, the devil's going to try to come in where God's still working on us. And exactly. I know God works on me behind the wheel, like, so my story.
You got a story too?
I got plenty, but, because I have to drive across county to take my kids to school, like I live on the east side in Bradenton. My twins go to King, which is close to the island on 75th and Manatee.
Oh my goodness.
And Tristan goes to Barbara Harvey on Moccasin Wallow in the middle of all that construction right now. Like so it's 1 lane.
2 hours there, 2 hours back for that trip.
yeah. Which I don't mind. I get to. I remind myself I get to
3 schools.
But yeah, Beckett is a good kid. He walks to school most days, so he's at Manatee High. They live close, but
he is a good kid.
But I'll come in. You know, if he calls me because they've got it. So high school's 7:15. Tristan's 8:15, 8:20.
Yep. Middle school's last.
Middle school's 9.
Yep.
So you got Manatee High, Barbara Harvey, King. You know, and I live way over here.
At least the school board did us a favor of stacking them. So at least
they're like, Austyn's got to get to all 3, so we have to give her an hour in between each, right? So, I get up early. Brian goes off to work, and then I start the ritual of waking Tristan up, which is a whole chaos in itself most days. Getting her ready, making sure I signed her notebook because we have busy lives, you know. So. Getting her in the car. She obviously wants to play on my phone. She wants to dance in the front seat. Yep. She wants to play videos.
TikToks, yeah.
Yes, every day. Well, I'm in drug court currently, so I have to do some Zoom classes, which conveniently are usually at 8:00. So I'm trying to get credit for his Zoom class. My other kids are calling. Are you going to be on time or do we need to ride with Dad? Hey, are you picking us up today? Meanwhile, Hand Up to Victory phone's ringing a little early.
Boy.
You know, so I'm
Chaos.
sitting here. Yes, absolutely. And I start getting mad of everything else instead of myself, because ultimately my responsibility at that moment is to be a good driver behind that wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So I take my eye off the wheel, you know, for a second. And there's a car stopped in the middle of the road, and I'm yelling. Well, their car's broke down, but I can't.
Rocking them, just like let them have it, and then the car's broke down.
Yes. So I got guilty. I did roll my window down and ask them, did they have a tow truck coming? So I got past that one.
That's nice. So you yelled at them and then helped them.
Yeah, I did. So, but then I get to the next.
You turned it around quick.
Well, I was still on 9th. I was still just out of my driveway.
That's just part 1.
Oh, yeah. So then we get to the bridge and somebody's rear-ended somebody. So I not only had to go to the green bridge to go like 8 miles out of my way to get Tristan to school. So, I mean, it just goes on and on. You know, people darting in front of you. But what I wanted to share about is the fact that like what we put in our passenger seat, you know, like the chaos, if you've had a fight at home, if, you know, you've got a busy workload ahead of you, if you've got a project due, if you're a new driver, you know, if and whatever you have, if you've had road rage and you don't want to have it again, whatever is weighing heavy on your heart, like when I'm behind that wheel, I have to remember that safety, you know, my daughter is who is in my passenger seat, and to leave all that outside the car. And it's so hard because it's easy to pick right back up but it's like, what part did I have in that? Was my attention where it should have been? Because I'm so easy to blame the other person in the other vehicle a lot. And then I won't even go to the car lane, pick up. That's a whole.
You just go somewhere and make them walk to you?
Oh, I used to. I mean, I'll sit there, but I like to ride in last
The schools
minute.
hate that.
Yeah, yes, they do. The walk to the car. But you know, Tristan will be like, Mom, please don't get mad, because it reminds me of my dad, because he's an aggressive driver. I know firsthand from being with him for a while, but when she looks at me with that face and she feels you know, like that it's not a safe situation, I try to bring it back or even try to overcorrect it. And I just see that look on her face, and it almost reminds me of the look that she used to give me when she'd know that something wasn't right, whether I was drinking or whatever. So any kind of disappointment to her, I get easily convicted. Like you were saying, used to it wouldn't bother me. Right. You know, but now I want to be that role model and that good example for her in all areas of my life, not just some.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do.
We got so like a few things that you can do when that road rage is upon you, because it's obviously going to happen to all of us, maybe right after you watch this.
Yeah.
Probably. Awesome.
Well, not to me, because my car isn't working, so I won't get it today.
Well, we're believing. And by the time this airs, you're going to be driving again.
Oh, I bet. That's,
So what's your first suggestion. You said this really helps you, and we're picking stuff that we're actually using.
Yeah,
like to what's practical when that road rage is just.
I have to put on some faith music, like some music that brings me back to where I need to be in my mindset. I'd put on Joy FM a lot. I let Tristan pick a song. It's always some new TikTok thing, but adjusting that dial can help me adjust me driving. It really does. I mean, it might sound corny to some people, but it definitely helps me not to have some headbanging angry music.
The death metal gets you a little too fired up, or what?
I don't know. Some old throwback rap can get me pretty upset sometimes.
Gangster rap, you feeling it, boy?
In my camo, yeah.
Everybody's getting sprayed today. Try me.
Yep.
Go gangster on him when he got that going on. No, it's good. Change it to worship music. Change it to something a lot more calming, for sure. Yeah.
So what's one that you do?
I mean, I know that this is what should be done. I can't say that I do it every time, but now that it took that, to kind of slap me in the face a little bit and wake me up, it's de-escalate the situation. So whenever someone makes a move, you can amp it up or you can chill it out. If you go for more and try to, pour something on the fire, then if they're crazy and they don't care, they're going to do something back to you. And it's like, when does it ever stop? Like, if no one de-escalates the situation, are we hitting each other with the cars? Are we fighting when the cars stop? I mean, these days people pull out a gun, over that type of stuff. But, what really helped me is I had to think of I have personal friends. I'm personal friends with the sheriff. I have, commissioner that I'm good friends with. I have multiple people in the community, the mayor they not look up to me, but they look to me to be someone in the community that's doing good work. That's a good representation, a God that's doing what they can to help those less fortunate, in our community that really need it. And what does it look like for me to be doing something crazy on the road because I let someone get the better of me and really upset me? I can't let those guys down. I can't let that type of stuff happen.
You sharing this today is pretty raw, that you're putting that out there so people can. I'm sure that everybody watching has had a similar story, that we don't want to say nothing, but please share, your stories and how you either overcame it or will overcome it next time.
For sure.
And do it better.
I hope I didn't implicate myself in a crime or something
by
sharing this. You can always edit it. We'll run it by Major Shear to make sure I'm good. But hey, at least I'm honest. Just like you said, you gotta be honest, man. I'm not saying you got to put it out to the world. I know that's only certain people's callings, but you got to put it out to somebody. Like, who's in your life that you can be honest and real with and share these type of stories with, and just put it all out there, because we got to be honest and vulnerable. I think that's something that not a lot of people do, right? And
not just talk to be sharing it on social media, actually would be looking for some suggestions, or when you get that conviction, it does help to get it off your chest, no matter what area of my life it is. When you have to hold it in and you don't feel like you can share it,
right?
It just builds until the next time, and you're going to just erupt eventually.
So in hindsight, what could I have done to de-escalate the situation? Honestly, I still looked at it like I was trying to get away from her, because I feel like the most dangerous road rage is when they're in front of you, because then they can do what she was doing and brake check me and do something. Trying to get to church. do something crazy, but I can't justify my actions. I was in the wrong. I guess what I should have done is slow down to 50 on I-75 and just let the lady, hopefully that she just would have gone on ahead of me and not, done anything. I mean, I guess if I slowed down and then she still came back to brake check me, we got a whole nother conversation on the table. Yeah, one other episode. But I could have done something different. I could have de-escalated. I should have just slowed down immensely, and that's what I'm gonna try to do next time if and something happens. So
another thing I try to think of, and you mentioned it too, you said that you thought that she might be drunk. You don't, know, but just based on her actions. But in other situations, I'm if somebody's driving erratically, either they've got their flashers on or they don't, you don't know what they're going through. So 8 out of 10 times I probably don't, but the 2 times I might, you know, you hope that you have that grace for other people, because their child could be sick in the hospital. They could just be having a freaking rotten day, and, I enjoy the days when I can just ride in the right lane and not have to even go the speed limit. It doesn't happen that often, but those days
it is nice occasionally. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm like, go on.
Hey, I'm not late today. I can actually do.
It is. I can just chill. I do some coffee today.
Do 500 today.
Yeah, Bonnie doesn't have to save my seats today. But grace for others in all areas, not just behind the wheel. Is something that I'm still a work in progress. But it's one of my main things that I'm trying to focus on in my life.
You can use that for anything. I mean, when people come at you over something, when something, some incident occurs in public, you never know what the other person has gone through. Their husband could have just left them, they're fill in the blank there too.
Right.
Like there's we don't know what someone else is struggling with or going through that may have caused them to act out on us.
Right.
It's a good point. And try to consider that before you react, and then think it through. Like
play the tape, as they say. Yeah.
We use that in recovery. We use it for anything, because fill in the blank, I had to think it through. What if she, when I tried to go around her, she had swerved over and tried to come at me, and we wound up wrecking with my daughter in the car? What if, she had slammed into the brakes so hard at me that we wound up, what if she got just me doing something crazy and somehow she was able to turn it around on me and I got in trouble? And you know what I'm saying? You see me in a Mandy County Sheriff's Office, there's so many ways that could have gone south. And it's like, man, there's no way like I can have this.
Right.
We're going to share a little scripture, but I just got to add this because it's just funny. Want to know what the message at church was?
I did watch online, but I'm going to let you.
Just some part of the line was like, how are we being a representation of Jesus
are we reflecting
to people out there? Are we reflecting Christ to other people? And I'm like, bro, he set this up. Like God set this up.
Because I watched online. Like I said that day, I needed to clean the house and we didn't have any of the kids. So
stab me.
Yeah. So I'm at home. I just watched, it was such a great message. And then I get a message from you, bro, you won't believe what happened to me. Road rage. We're doing this for our next episode. And I was like, didn't he just talk about? So he just,
yeah. I can only imagine what all the people behind us thought when they saw us. Probably not like, that guy must be a disciple of Jesus Christ when they were watching.
Who needs a bumper sticker?
That's probably not what they were thinking when they saw what transpired.
They were just like, let them two go on.
Oh man, we got to bring this verse into it because you mentioned it and I think it's spot on. James 1 second half of 19 and 20. We're paraphrasing a little bit, but basically it says everyone should be slow to become angry because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. It never does.
No, it does. And most of the time when I'm mad, I'm not really mad about what I think I'm mad about. You're carrying something else from totally different. But being slow to become angry, like I could talk forever.
I just think this is funny because Christians love to justify anger over anyone else. Why? Because Jesus got mad in the temple.
Yeah.
Like, how would you let your guys angry at the best? Yeah, Jesus got mad in the temple too. Yeah, one time.
Well,
and he didn't get mad because someone cut him off in traffic. It's because an entire group of people were missing the entire point of the message that he was trying to bring to them and what he was trying to offer them. And so, because they had turned like God's temple into something that it way should not have been. Correct. He got upset and let people know it. Because he did that, now I can be angry forever as a Christian.
There's my past. I'm going to take it.
Right. The slow to become anger, it does not, when we get angry, does not produce the righteousness that God desires. How would God know that? Because he created us. We can save maybe the anger for another podcast, but like it literally hinders our brain when we become so angry. We do not make decisions the same way that we do when we're not angry. I mean, it causes us to do things, to say things, to take actions that we are later on going to regret. And so, man, if that's not the verse course to take home out of this. The slow,
point.
exactly, the slow to become anger. And how many people do you know that they just let every little thing irk them so much? Like sometimes I don't want to be around that, man. Like anything can pop off, or someone says
like
one
they just
thing,
have this big bag, and they just keep.
You're always mad, like.
Yeah. You just keep on and on.
It's definitely not a way to live. But you know, I mentioned it before, but man, we're not fighting against flesh and blood. That's another thing to remember. That's honestly, I do think it's like evil trying to set me up for something. Literally. Like it's not that one person in there, like target the one card's coming behind them. It's devil orchestrating that, man, trying to get us off of our serenity, not acting like Jesus, acting like everyone else in the world. You try me, I'm gonna get you back.
Absolutely. Yep.
This is spiritual warfare, man. It's spiritual warfare in traffic.
Absolutely.
It can happen at your house, like me and you have talked about on the side.
Absolutely.
And it can happen in traffic.
I mean, we talked about relationships last episode, you know, and devil will get in there and try to mess with whatever topics come in.
No doubt.
Every time.
You trying to do something good in life, you want to help other people, whatever, the devil's going to attack your home, man. Devil's going to try to come in and attack you in traffic, whatever he can do.
Where does the devil attack you? Like where?
So good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you kind of mentioned, you know, about the grace part, but, you know, you said even though we're imperfect, God gives us the grace to keep trying, and it's okay to stumble.
Absolutely.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
I mean, I feel, you know, that even though we're imperfect, and you know, I feel like if we recognize what we did wrong and we try to correct it, we may not get it right every single time, but I feel if we're growing through it instead of just going through it each time, we're going to somebody and talking to them about it. We're going to ask for suggestions, you know, and I just feel like what truly matters is making that conscious effort to show patience and consideration in every part of our lives. And then it's not just behind the wheel. It's thinking of our fellow brothers and sisters before we react to their actions. So we're just not acting as well. You know, I truly think that makes a difference.
For sure. Yeah. Patience.
Just don't pray for it.
Maybe that'll be the next episode. Because that's just.
Don't invite my kids to talk about my patience.
Oh boy, yeah, that's right. Maybe we share that for a second. No, I think, man, if we start telling real stories on this, we could get each other good. We both got stories on the other person. But I caught Austyn in mid, like she was just. The kids were, it was road rage, but inside of the car. That's what.
It was mom rage.
That's what was going on, right? The mom was coming out. The kids had messed with like every seat adjustment. They messed with the mirror. They were messing around the whole time and just like, I don't know, just jacking it up and changing everything. And then it was a high stress situation. She gets in. And what was funny is she pocket dials me. And I missed the call, of course. Shocker to anyone that knows me, right? And so I seen you got the voicemail. It's like, let me go back and listen to Austyn. She never leaves me a voicemail. She just knows I'll call her back. Let me see. Maybe it was important. See what she had to say. And it's her just going off on the kids, bro. Just giving it to them. And they're like, what? I'm sorry. No. She got them, bro. She just laid into all of them, wrecking them. And I have it saved on my voicemail for all eternity.
We'll have to save that for like the rated R. But the funny part is I didn't even realize I did it. So like next day at church, he's like, hey, you realize you called me yesterday? And I'm like, huh? And he's like, yeah, it was when you were in the car with the kids. And I'm like, oh. Because I was at least able to tell him that I apologized to the kids before he told me that I did it. So, yeah, guilty as charged. Yep.
There's another one right there, like road rage on the outside, road rage on the inside. We're going to murder the kids.
Yes, it's a battle in every area.
That's so good. Aren't you guys glad we can do this together? Yes. We go through all this stuff. We can laugh about it.
Absolutely.
We can overcome it and
laugh about it and learn from it. Yes.
For sure.
So when you said you shared with, you talked with Layla about it, and she was okay with it. How are you doing that now?
I mean, I'm kind of concerned still. If you want me to be completely honest, like I shouldn't have done that. Like I can't be doing that. So, you know, I just pray that God honors my repentance prayer, and I really I wasn't just praying because there was consequences. There's always that prayer, like, God, get me out of this. I swear I'll never do it again. Like
the jail prayer. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't that.
If Autumn can just bail me out, I promise I'll never do
Have her on speed dial. No, it can't happen, man. And that really stuck me. Like I put a lot, you know, when I talk about, you know, these men that are in my life, like I don't take that stuff lightly. Like the sheriff, you know, commissioner, the mayor, these guys, I mean, if you look on paper, they shouldn't even talk to me. You know what I'm saying?
They shouldn't. I just got to take pictures with all of them at National Prayer Day.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, yesterday, you know, 2 of the 3 that you just mentioned, like
you would think is like this guy, multiple time convicted felon, like, you know, got covered in tats. We can't be seen with him in public, but no, like they are my friends first and foremost, and then they believe in what we're doing and the work we're doing in the community. Like I don't know that. It does get me emotional because that's one of the reasons when I say think it through, I don't care if it's the road rage. I don't care if it's using, whatever it is. Like I can't do that. Like these come so far and God's blessed me so richly. And like these guys like put their neck on the line. Like Sheriff Wells said straight up, he won't partner with no one that's in recovery anymore because of what has happened to him in the past. But he believes in me. Amen, and he believes in what we're doing. And like I don't take that sentence lightly, man. Like that. I mean, honestly, I cry every time when I think about it, but I don't take that lightly.
I mean, you know, yesterday I walked up in front of the courthouse, you know, and he just had his, you know, hey, you know, and just gave me a hug. Like, I mean, I was, you know, but January 14th, I walked out of his jail, right. You know, of 2024. So right. You're talking less than, what is that, 14 months ago, you know, that I was on the other side of those bars, and now I get to be welcomed by him, you know, because of what we get to do today. And
that's what God does, man.
I know. I sent my mom those pictures, and she was just like, I could not be more proud of you today. Oh. You know, and it does. It really does. And, you know, I don't take it lightly. I won't take it lightly.
It's good. It's their crying episode. Everyone's crying.
That's every episode.
Mom's proud of us. I know my mom is so proud of me.
Approval stamp.
Your mom's proud of you. There's so many people that have done amazing things and turned their life around, and their moms are proud of them. Shout out to moms, man. There's some good people. Now I need tissues.
We're gonna have like the box here. I guess.
Oh man, but yeah. So I'm good with it now, and especially because I can admit my mistakes. That makes me feel good to look my daughter in the face and told her, Dad made a mistake.
And even after she was like, no, you didn't. You're like, yes.
Yeah.
Like you had
I reiterated it.
Being a little silly. Yeah. Like, yeah. You're like, no, I can just, you know.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I love when she defends me. She's like, if someone does that to you, Dad, I'm gonna knock him out. I'm like, thanks, baby.
I'll get you nails anytime.
But yeah, just so she knew that we don't need to be acting like that. I shouldn't have done that. I put us in jeopardy, even though she did all that crazy stuff to us. I guess in hindsight, I should have just, you know, slowed way down. But I'm not gonna make that mistake again. About that.
That's right.
So yeah, I left it at the church.
Right at the cross. Yeah,
for sure. Amen. So we continue to do these, guys. What spoke to you, man? If you made it with us this far, thank you so much for watching the full episode. Wanted to add that too. Thank you for rocking with us. Leave a comment down below. Yeah, I'm sure you got a crazy road rage story.
Absolutely.
Share that thing with us. Maybe you learned something through an experience that happens, and you got a life lesson that you can share with us. We'd love to hear that also, and share. But put in the comments, what do y'all want to talk about? What's the next episode going to be? Because in fact, we're not going to tell you what episode number 5 is going to be. Right? We're just going to see. We're going to go through these comments and see if anything jumps out at us. But we're going to be talking about some great stuff. We're going to have some guest speakers that have overcome some serious things in life and share their experience, strength, and hope with you guys. Absolutely. And so we love y'all, man. Thank you for rocking with us. Subscribe to the channel, throw a like on the video, make sure you comment below. And again, to Just in Time with Justin Hallis.
And Austyn with a Y.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Monday.
See you then.
Is everyone possessed on the road today? Like,
our driving on the way to church doesn't always reflect our faith.
Amen. Well, I'm gonna get a lot closer, and then I'm gonna jut in when an unsuspecting victim. I don't know if this lady was drunk. She goes across 5 lanes of traffic, tries to come out, and then she nails on the brakes. It's chaos.
Everybody got popcorn?